In those days, a decree went out from Emperor Augustus that all the world should be registered. This was taken while Quirinius was governor of Syria. In Luke's familiar telling of the Christmas story, powerful and important people are invoked. But for the majority of all the world who were being registered, there was only occupation. But God uses this census to shift Joseph and Mary to Bethlehem, because Joseph was descended from the house and the family of David. To say descended from the house of David immediately after speaking of Augustus already inserts politics into the story. This story, though, is not about Augustus and Quirinius, but rather about two nobodies making their way, part of a long line of people who have walked in darkness. And the narrative will unfold as the tale of two emperors, the one in Rome and the one born to Mary in Bethlehem. The change starts simply. The whisper of grace rising through nature. Christmas ascends from beyond us and is offered to each of us. Do you see what I see? Said the night wind to the little lamb. Do you see what I see? The simple innocence of his coming finds welcome in the poor and the lowly. Said the little lamb to the shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear? From the lowly, the sound is amplified to reach the mighty king. Said the shepherd boy to the mighty king, do you know what I know? This grace insinuates itself smoothly first as something seen and then as a sound heard, until reaching to become something known, or better yet, something savored. Do you see? Can we begin to understand? The child who is God shivers. He makes himself the vulnerable one, capable of being welcomed or rejected, embraced or struck, remembered or forgotten. Can we go to him? A shepherd brings the message to us. Can we heed him? In your palace warm, mighty King, there is still hope that our stony hearts can be converted into hearts of flesh. It all begins with the presence of the God made flesh and blood in the manger, on the cross. He looks for an opening into the interior of each one of us. In becoming human, God embraces all that we are. He does not reject us. Bethlehem today is an occupied city surrounded by a 25-foot-high cement walls. You have to go through a security checkpoint in order to get in. On our trip last February, we flew into Jordan, and so we came into Bethlehem through the back door, so we didn't have to go through the wall. On Sunday morning, we drove to the West Bank city of Jifna, to St. Joseph Catholic Church. We celebrated Sunday Mass with the parish community. In Arabic, the priests are called Abuna. Abuna Firas, as you can see, uses lots of incense during the Mass. And he gave me some of the incense. We're going to use it tonight for our Mass. After Mass, we drove back towards Bethlehem to Beth-Seher, Shepherd's Field. When we came out of the restaurant after lunch, there was a flock of sheep in the field next door. And then we came upon a little shepherd boy who had a little lamb. And the lamb went wherever the shepherd boy went. And then he picked it up. It wasn't long before Mary also had a little lamb. We left the flocks and went into the city of Bethlehem, following the shepherds who heard the good news of the one born this day in the city of David. But shepherds who live in the field, for whom there is no room, who are themselves outsiders, knew where to go to find this outsider. Not to the city of David, which is Jerusalem. Let us go to Bethlehem, they said, to the city where David was born. Thomas Merton, the Trappist monk, wrote, "Into this world, this demented inn, in which there is absolutely no room for him at all, Christ has come uninvited. But because he cannot be at home in it, because he is out of place in it, and yet he must be in it, his place is with those others for whom there is no room. His place is with those who do not belong, who are rejected by power because they are regarded as weak, those who are discredited, who are denied the status of persons, tortured, exterminated. With those for whom there is no room, Christ is present in this world. He is mysteriously present in those for whom there seems to be nothing but the world at its worst. It is in these that Christ hides himself, for whom there is no room. The Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem was built by the Emperor Justinian about 1,500 years ago over a cave where tradition says that Christ was born. The door to the church, as you can see there in the distance, was purposely made to be only about 4 foot high. This is a defensive move. Soldiers on horseback cannot get through this door. It also meant that we had to bow low in order to enter this place where the Almighty God came down to earth. We had to leave our ego at the door, for only those who have faced their own brokenness and accepted their humanness can come face to face with the God who embraces our humanity. We journeyed to this holy place as pilgrims. There's a grotto located underneath the altar. But because the grotto is small, you have to wait in line to enter. You wait in a darkened corridor for people to exit, so there'll be room for others to go in. On the marble floor of the grotto is a 14-point silver star, which marks the spot where Jesus was born. In previous visits, we went in and touched the star, and then we went back out again. But on this last visit, we discovered there was another room in the grotto. Standing together in that dark room, lit only by small lamps and a few candles, we began to sing softly. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin, mother and child. At Christmas, the world falls silent. The Father bespeaks himself in a single word, a still, silent word, his newborn Son, Jesus. In the stillness of this holy night, Christ comes to us and brings us home to Christmas. Christmas is a mystery that is revealed whenever light breaks into the darkness of our world. We come tonight as pilgrims, but we need not travel to Bethlehem to see the holiness in our lives. Christ comes to us here in the songs that we sing, in the story that we tell, in the bread that we break, and the cup that we share. G.K. Chesterton described Christmas as if someone had found an inner room in the very heart of their own house, which they had never suspected, and seen a light from within. It is as if they found something at the back of their own heart, and upon entering, it betrayed them into good.